What's up, guys? Welcome to a first episode of the X3 Drop. I am one of your hosts, Xell.
And I'm Ducky or Josh.
And together, we are the X3 Drop. I don't know. It's just like the name that we came up with, and I feel like it just stuck.
We do be X3 dropping a lot.
We do be X3 dropping. We're trying to change that, but till then, we're still the X3. But anyways, this is our new podcast. We're going to be doing this to talk about our favorite card game that we've been playing a lot, One Piece. But we'll talk about kind of whatever. But today, we have a special topic pertaining to the One Piece card game.
For sure. We'll be talking today about OP12. We've got some brand new leaders and kind of corresponding support that got leaked thus far. Not all the cards are out yet. But we'll just be talking about, the things that have been announced and maybe existing support for some of the leaders that could potentially make them really powerful.
Yeah.
To get us started, Silver Rayleighs.
Silver Rayleighs, yeah.
Mono red leader. That reads, by the rule, you cannot have cards with 5 cost or higher in your deck. Activate main once per turn, reveal 2 events from your hand. One of your characters with original cost of 4,000 or less gets plus 2,000 power for the turn.
Okay, so right off the bat, what's like your thoughts on this leader?
I mean, it just reads as an aggro deck, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not allowed to play 5 cost or higher cards. It pumps the power of your guys, has access to small dudes like the Straw Hat package, right?
Yeah.
Like playing the smaller guys, as well as the animal package.
Yeah, and then it also wants you to play a lot of events because you kind of want to be able to use that leader ability. I think basically every turn.
Yeah, definitely.
Using it, so
they did release a new 0 cost event, Observation Hockey. It reads, activate main or just main. You may attach 1 active Don to your Silver's Rayleigh. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 red event card or up to 1 cost 3 or greater character card, then put them in your hand and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. It's a 0 cost event, but it technically does need you to have 1 active Don to attach to your Silver's Rayleigh, which at this point, I'm not sure if this is a translation thing or not, but I can't tell if it's your Silver's Rayleigh leader, if it's a leader locked card.
Yeah.
Or if you can just attach it to any Silver's Rayleigh.
Silver's Rayleigh. That's very interesting. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of bizarre, right? It's like you have to have an active Don to use this card, but it technically costs 0. Yeah, I think people when they saw this leader, I feel like I remember people talking about the potential of cards that say 3 cost, but it actually costs a higher amount, kind of like Divine Departure, right? It technically on the corner says 1 cost, but you can pay 6 to do the big effect. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to release more cards like that.
I think it's very likely. Otherwise, in its current form, I feel like this deck can't really function very well.
Right.
Especially with, forefathers like Zoro.
Yeah.
Namely Zoro.
That's the thing. Is it's hard for me to imagine. Okay, so you brought up the animal package. It's okay. We know animal package is fantastic. Every red deck wants to run the package if they can.
Yeah, Marco.
Well, there's history there. But okay, it's okay, so the animal package, fine, we can play it, but why would we play this over Zoro? And that's the big
exactly.
question.
Yeah, so I'd like to see some new cards being released. It doesn't necessarily have to be this set.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can be releasing these aggressive red green leaders like Chopper, for example, that kind of operate in a similar way to Rayleigh.
Yeah.
At this point, kind of fill the void when Zoro rotates out during the block rotation.
Yeah.
So that's my kind of understanding of that.
Yeah, it looks to be just another red aggro deck. So
for sure.
The kind of cards that we'd probably play in this are the new OP10 Sanji, just very efficient card, but also Buggy Stonks.
Buggy is incredible, not only because it's just a small body that gets pumped.
Yeah.
You need events.
Yeah.
And it searches so many events. Cards like Mulgun you have access to in this deck, as well as the new 0/1 cost searcher, 0 cost event, things of that nature, I think are super, super strong.
Okay, so we talked about the animal package. We talked about a couple of cards that we think that it might play.
For sure.
I definitely think Buggy is a shoe-in, right?
Yeah.
So as it stands, what would you say is its rating? If 1 to 5, 5 is for sure meta playable. It's going to be a maybe not a top deck, but it'll be represented in the meta, like, and one is just unplayable. It's, I don't know, green blue Sanji level.
Right.
What are we thinking on the 1 to 5 scale?
You know, like, I want to say 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to think about red blue Marco for a second, right?
Oh yeah, we got to talk about this.
I think that deck or that leader is pretty powerful, right? If you just read its leader ability, it just seems like quite a good leader.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't seen very much success up to this point until you start playing the animal package in it.
Yeah,
you put the animal package in anything, it's a 5 for me. Bazinga!
Okay, so I need to tell some context about this story because it's like late at night and I get a Discord ping and I'm like, okay, dude, I'm about to go to bed here. I swear it was like 11 p.m. midnight, and I get a message from this guy and he's like, dude, have you heard anything about Animal Marco? And I was like, what are you talking about, man? Like,
it's like a fever dream.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, dude, I just lost 5 times in a row to some guy who's playing Animal Marco. And I was like, dude, this guy is spoken. Like, I know 420 was not that long ago, but like, what's happening?
I got a head start. Yeah.
and then like on the spot, we started like riffing and like trying to like deduce what his deck list might be.
He played the craziest cards in his deck list, but for some reason, it just works.
And what's even funnier is like this last weekend, I saw that I think it top 32 in EU. So like the deck might be real.
I think this deck is very good. So that leads me to believe you put the animal package in anything, it becomes insane.
Okay, but Marco for sure has like one of the best leader abilities.
Absolutely,
I think that leader ability is so insane. It's
much better than this one. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Like there's no restriction.
Yeah,
like, this deck has a restriction, and I don't think revealing 2 events for a 2K bonus is like that good, you know?
Yeah, it's not nearly as good as, say, Zoro, which is a lot more efficient for 1 Dawn.
You
can get up to
5K.
6K, including the leader, right?
Yeah, including leader. Yeah. So, like, as opposed to, I mean, it is neat that it is, you don't have to use any Dawn to get it, which, you know, could matter, but, yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of awkward to me. If I was going to give this a real rating, dude, yeah, your spiel about animal package is making me nervous.
Right, I really want to say 2, but like I'm starting to think like 3 or 4.
Okay. We're gonna let's 3. 3. I think.
Okay, I can agree on 3.
Okay,
I can agree on 3.
We'll leave it at 3, mainly because animal package. But hey, but with rotation.
Yeah, with rotation,
it could be better, right?
For sure.
If we see Zoro leave, but then it's just like, is Chopper just better? I don't know.
Chopper could be better. I mean, something new to think about too with this Rayleigh leader is that we did get a leak of the OP12 Shanks, the 2 cost.
Yeah.
It reads, on play, you may give up to one of your characters with Roger Pirates and its types other than Shanks rush for this turn. So I think with the proper support in this deck, if you have kind of low to the ground Roger Pirates cards, instead of playing things like the animal package or the straw hat package, and you just play a strict Roger package or maybe a hybrid of the 2, you could get really scary really fast.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, I don't know. Well, I feel like this is one of those decks that just needs a lot of support for it to actually. Is that even true? Animal package.
It's just animal package, dude.
Baby,
just run the animals. Print more animals.
Yeah.
Just print more animals. We don't need
more
Roger
banana gators.
Pirates.
We need more Kung Fu Jugon.
Just keep printing choppers, guys. Just keep printing choppers. We need more choppers.
Dude, we have like 10 different
There's
choppers.
so many choppers.
There's so many choppers. Okay, so let's talk about the next leader then.
So the next leader is the highly anticipated mono blue Kuzan.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are itching to get their hands on this
just
deck.
a fan favorite. Everyone
he really is.
I mean,
yeah.
cool.
Every single card that Kuzan has ever been printed on has been just so good.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, it's just been so good.
He has no misses.
Nah. So it reads, when your Navy type cards abilities cause you to discard cards from your hand, draw a number of cards equal to the amount discarded. So just insanely powerful.
Yeah.
Very,
I think
very
this card just reads very, very strong. So yeah, the fact that so a lot of the Navy cards are in black that care about discarding, but for the few that are blue, it's insane. Like Aramaki,
yes.
I know like spiked when his leader was announced. So Like all those cards just become absurdly strong. But we also have more releases too.
Yeah, for sure. So the new 6/8 Kuzan. If your hand size is 5 or greater, this character has +1 cost. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Up to one of your opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So extremely, extremely annoying.
Like literally every piece of text on this is very good.
Yeah, like as a purple player, I'm already super annoyed that it's out of Big Mom range.
Yeah, 7 cost.
It's a 6 that becomes a 7.
Yeah. 7 costs are just like the perfect sweet spot to avoid a lot of things. Like Gravity Blade, Big Mom, getting rested by Usohachi.
100%.
Yeah, so like 7 costs is actually beautiful here.
Yeah, it's so good. And man, just freezing a card is so annoying already.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm absurdly annoyed by Carrot, by
Boa.
Boa is so annoying. When Boa freezes your Luffy Taro because it's not a Luffy, actually infuriates me. It is so crazy because he'd be in disguise and shit.
Yeah. You know? Well, okay. So does that mean in canon, if Luffy was disguised as a Japanese man,
she wouldn't know.
Just freeze his ass?
She wouldn't know. She has no idea who he is.
Funny. But yeah, this ability is very strong, and
it's insanely powerful.
With Kuzan, like it just says discard draw. Like, oh my god. Flashbacks to Sakazuki.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And an 8K body is no joke.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that 7 cost Porcelino. It's just a huge body that just comes down and does stuff.
Yeah.
Another card that got leaked that I think is really, really powerful in this deck is the 1 cost Donquixote Rosinante. During your opponent's turn, if one of your blue navy type characters were to be removed from the board by an opponent's effect, you may instead rest this character and discard 1 card from your hand.
Okay, so the Kuzan leader doesn't care if it's your turn or their turn, right? It just happens.
I believe so. Yep.
And it's not even once per turn?
Correct.
Brother.
Yeah.
This card is annoying.
So this card is super, super annoying. Like every single Rosinante card to be ever printed.
There's never been a Rosinante card that isn't just infuriating to play against.
Oh my god. 2 cost Rosinante, 8 cost the leader. They're just so annoying. Why is this card so annoying?
He just hates interaction.
It's really crazy. But
yeah, so this card basically has the Toshiki effect, but then in this leader also
filters you a card.
Hand,
yeah, filters a hand. Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah,
that's so good.
So this card is very powerful, and some of the cards that are currently existing that I think we'll see play in this deck, like you've talked about, is the 8 cost Aramaki.
Yeah.
Super strong, really, really big blocker. Discards cards from your hand and becomes insanely massive.
Yeah. It gets rid of any small blockers that might be in the way.
And then another card that's kind of interesting is the 5 cost. What is this?
Suwu.
OP6 Suwu.
Yeah.
Yeah, young Suwu. She reads, on play, you may trash 2 cards from your hand. Your opponent returns one of their characters to the owner's hand. So filtering 2 cards and then bouncing something, regardless of cost, is obnoxious.
Yeah, like against a deck that only plays like 1 character a turn, you know, like Shanks or something.
Yeah. And like even...
What a blowout.
Even in like a mirror match, this card is insane.
Yeah.
And at worst, she's a 2K counter.
She's just a 2K counter.
Yeah,
I feel
this card is very strong.
Seems like a shoe-in for the deck too.
For sure. And one card that I thought was super interesting is it's a waste of human life, the OP5 8 cost event. And it reads, main, place all cost 3 or lower characters on the bottom of their owner's decks. Then, until there are 5 cards in each player's hands, discard cards.
Okay, so if you have like a billion cards in hand, this just draws you all.
It draws you a trillion cards, and your opponent doesn't get to draw. Your opponent just discards cards. You get to draw a billion, your opponent draws nothing. Obviously, I think this card probably won't see play in the deck, but it's very funny.
It's very funny.
The interaction is very funny.
That is very funny.
And next, you know,
wait. Before we move on, we have to rate the leader.
Oh, true. I mean, I think this is the best leader of the batch.
Ooh, that's actually a hot take.
I think it's the best. It's at least top 2.
Yeah,
in my eyes.
Top 2.
I think this is a top 2 leader. If I'm not rating it a 5, I'm rating it a 4.
Yeah, I think we can go decimals, you know, on feelings.
4.7.
4.7.
4.7. I think this leader is really strong. I think with the current existing cards, it's already pretty strong. but with additional support. Like blue doesn't, like you said earlier, black navy cards have most of the discard mechanics. Blue doesn't have that many. They have access to cards that say like bottom deck a card from your hand and then draw or something like that. Once they start printing discard blue cards, I think this leader becomes really, really powerful.
So yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the support for me. I don't think this immediately out the gate will be like tier 1 by any means. Like when I look at like how strong the decks are getting with like green purple Luffy,
definitely
blue purple Luffy,
purple
all the
Luffy,
fucking Luffys, like
really any Luffy that's purple.
Yeah, really. Purple Straw Hat leaders are just insane.
Oh my god,
right?
those are my favorite.
Okay. Anyways, I'm not sure, right? Like, so I'm actually gonna rate it probably a little conservatively low. I would say like more so than even the Rayleigh. Like, he has a whole package that he can just run. Yeah, and he'll be good.
Yeah,
this one might be like a 3.3 for me.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm rating it solely based on how stupid annoying it is.
Yeah.
I am
so stupid annoying.
I am so annoyed just looking at him. He's a 5 life leader, dude. You can't kill this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, let's go on to the next leader then.
So speaking of annoying leaders, green leaders annoy me incessantly to no end. And
you're just a hater.
I might be a hater. We have the mono green Zoro leader, who is supernova on top of Straw Hat type.
Very good.
So that's already really important to have. And he reads Dawn 3, activate main once per turn. During this turn, when this leader battles an opponent's character, set this leader as active. Then for the rest of this turn, this leader cannot attack characters with an original cost of 7 or less.
Very interesting design, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously they want you to swing with your leader, like, basically every time it can. So.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
And he's swinging 8.
Yeah, it has to be an 8, which is kind of, like, inefficient in a lot of ways, right? Like
8 minimum.
Yeah, 8 minimum.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of want...
Maybe 7 into 5.
7 to 5. Like, 8 feels like overkill. But you get a second attack no matter what.
You do, yeah.
So, this one's kind of interesting. Like, generally speaking, you're not going to be swinging 8k at anything that's 7 or less, right? So, it basically just says the leader must attack the other leader after you attack a character.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
But that's still very powerful, I think.
I think so too. I think it's just really efficient, right? Like, I think not only green cards, but just green leaders as well. Just restanding themselves is pretty obnoxious, right?
Very, very good.
Like Uta and Green Kid, characters or leaders like this are inherently good at controlling the board just through combat and just running at your opponent's face.
Yeah, I think, okay, so... This is my cope.
Yeah.
I want this leader to be good with the 4/6 from the starter deck 12 or whatever.
We'll get there. I do have a slide. Right. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Lead on us through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first card that got leaked, maybe not the first, but one of the cards that got leaked, is the new 1-cost Kozuki Hiyori. And she reads, activate main, you may rest 1 Dawn card and this character. If your leader is Zoro, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card with / attribute or a green event and add it to your hand.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's like the Bonnie or Lafitte searchers.
Yeah.
It's a 1-cost and you have to rest itself and a Dawn, so it costs 2.
I think most of the green searchers have been like this. Where it's like they're really actually 2-cost searchers.
But they're very flexible, right? Like not only does this search you a / card for 5 cards, it also allows you to pick up a green event. And there are some green events that are obnoxious. That are absolutely atrociously obnoxious.
Yeah. One that I'm excited to play next set is Electric Luna.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we'll continue on. More reveals here.
Yeah. I think in addition to that, you have another searcher in the 1-cost Perona. Which reads, on play, if your leader has a / attribute, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 / attribute card or 1 green event card.
Interesting.
So it's basically...
Already double searchers, then.
Yeah, you have access to multiple searchers. So that'll already make this deck insanely consistent if you end up playing a bunch of slash attribute cards, which you very likely will.
Very likely will. I
Yeah.
mean, probably is like one of the most common like attributes in the game. So I actually don't know if that's true, but
I think it is. Everyone has a sword.
Yeah, like so many sword
Yeah.
characters. Like how many Zoros have we seen
Yeah.
played? Like
Mihawks,
Yeah,
laws,
Mihawks.
every law.
I think it's really interesting to begin with, though. Like it seems like they're pushing the game in a direction where they want attributes to matter. So
Yeah.
I like this more so than like the buggy type cards. Like I don't like the fact that like buggy makes you read the top card and you go, oh.
And then another card that got announced is the Koshiro from OP12. It's a 2-cost and reads, if one of your cost 5 or lower slash type characters other than this character were to be KO'd by an opponent's effect, you may instead rest this character. And he's a blocker.
And it's a blocker.
Yeah, and it costs 2. So it's a chump blocker that costs 2, which is already very common in a lot of decks, right? Like Nico Robin.
Yeah.
In purple
This
Luffy.
card's absurd.
It's very powerful, right?
That
Like
seems
it just
very
has
good.
anti-removal
Just
abilities.
baked in, and then on top of being a blocker, right? Like
For sure.
I think about cards like Toshigi, like they're a 2K, which is also very powerful, but you know they don't have value being on board really.
Right, exactly.
So like this being a blocker too is crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So I think this card is definitely a shoe-in in the deck.
Yeah.
Another one is the 4-cost Quina, which reads, activate main, you may rest this character. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 4 or less. Then attach up to 3 rested Dawn to one of your Zoro leaders.
Wow. Okay.
So a card that lets you interact with a board and attaches the 3 Dawn that is required for you to activate Zoro's ability.
yeah, this is Austin Reeves the LeBron James.
100%. 100%.
Like just the setup to let Zoro go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you play her for 4, and then the 3 Dawn just goes straight to your Zoro, so you play her for 1.
It's basically like you played it for 1.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So I think this card is insanely powerful. And some of the current cards or cards that are soon to come out,
Yeah.
I think that are really powerful that Zoro has access to is Cavendish.
Yeah, Cavendish is
Right?
Oh, yeah. 'cause it's
Slash
Supernova,
attribute,
Yeah.
Supernova.
Slash attribute.
Mhm. So,
Dang.
so decks that struggle to find certain cards that require them to really go off,
Yeah.
right? Like in Red Green Smoker.
Everyone wants Smoker.
Everyone
on
wants
5.
Smoker, but you can't. It's like kind of hard to search for.
Yeah.
You have access to 8 searchers now,
Yeah.
so you're almost always finding it. You can find Cavendish as well if you want to play that.
Yeah.
Right. So I think these existing 5-cost slash attribute cards are very, very strong.
Yeah, very, very good. And again, like you said, like you just have so many searchers.
Yeah,
Like
you have a ton.
This set automatically just brings you two searches right away,
Yep.
if not more, if you're
Mhm.
maybe like cross pollinating
Right,
some of the
right.
things.
And another card that I think is really interesting, if you don't necessarily want to go towards the aggressive route and you want to control the board a little bit, is the EBO2 Zoro.
Yeah.
The 4-cost.
This one's played in green purple.
Yeah, for sure. So being able to interact with your opponent's board right off the bat, I think is already quite strong. So you can just play him for 4, swing into one of your opponent's guys. You can rest a blocker, swing into maybe one of his sitting units.
Yeah.
Zoro leader can also do the same.
Yeah, like late game
yeah.
it can be like super annoying to chip at your opponent's
Yeah,
blockers or
for
something.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this card is quite good in this deck. And
Yes,
just like you mentioned,
please.
the
I'm begging.
4/6. What set is this from? ST12
Yep.
Zoro. That reads Dawn 1 when attacking. Rest up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters. This
begging.
card, yeah. I really want to see this card be played.
And it has nothing to do with it being treasure cup prizing.
Not ones that we're sitting on. No.
No.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Yeah. But
Yeah, this card actually could do work in this deck,
yeah,
right?
I think
'Cause,
so.
like, let's say you have this on board, and then it gets back to your turn. Let's say it's like your 6 Dawn turn. Whatever your opponent plays on their 5 Dawn turn, you swing 7 at lead, and then they'll probably take. And then you rest whatever they played, and then your leader Zoro just gets to go
Yep.
boom, boom,
Yep,
and
100%.
swing again at the thing, and
Yep.
then again at it's just very aggressive.
Not to mention, this card is swinging for 7 at your face.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's scary.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like this deck it seems to me, like it'd be kind of this weird mashup of like you are super aggressive, like the leader ability wants you to swing at face, and like cards like that also want to swing at face, but it also taxes your opponent super heavily. Like
For sure.
if they want to keep a board, which they will, they're going to have to give up cards. They
For
can't just
sure.
hoard them against you as you're going face.
And then your swings are insanely efficient, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
especially with cards like Cavendish or Smoker.
Yeah, you just get all
Restanding
that
the
Dawn.
Dawn is insanely efficient for this
That
deck.
is really. This deck might be good.
It might be really good.
Okay,
yeah.
we have more cards though.
So, because the searchers allow you to search for / attribute character cards, they also allow you to search for events, right? So they're not. It's not a linear searcher, and there are some green events that I think they're pretty obnoxious that you could play in this deck. One being you couldn't even kill my boredom. It is the OP6 4-cost event that has Zoro in his coveted do-rag.
Yeah.
And it has 2 effects. Main, choose one. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost 6 or less, or KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost 6 or less.
Yeah.
So in tandem with some of the cards that allow you to rest character
things.
cards, this is really good removal.
Yeah.
Not only is it good removal, it has an incredible trigger as well. Just activate main trigger.
Yeah. Just go ahead and pop something that's swung into you, or rest a lethal attacker potentially. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And then one that we're going to see a lot of, I think, not only in this Green Zoro deck, but in decks to come, in EBO2, is Electrical Luna.
This card is, I think, it's just so good in Zoro, right?
Yeah,
like
insane.
Oh my god! I mean, it's disgusting. Like we talked about already. Like the identity of this deck feels very aggressive leaning, and then this just like basically just says give yourself an extra turn.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like a lot of your character cards are resting your opponent's characters already, right?
Yeah.
If they want to protect their board, they're gonna have to give you a lot of cards because Zoro's swinging at it as an 8K.
Yeah.
Right, minimum with the 3 Dawn. If they end up giving you cards, then you just pivot and go, okay, Electrical Luna. I'm going to just stun your entire board that got rested.
Yeah, and now good luck on the next turn, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Not only that, I think we talked about this a little earlier with the Mono Blue Kuzan leader, the new one that's coming out. That Kuzan is a 7-cost technically, and it is not avoidable by Electrical Luna.
Yeah.
So,
can't dodge that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all the cards? I think this deck could actually be really good.
Yeah,
like
I
low-key
think so.
super good.
Yeah.
Another card I want to mention is the Mihawk 2K from the Uta lead starters.
Yeah, the Muggy Kingdom.
Yeah, Muggy Kingdom. Like it gives you some amount of like board span. This has like all the pieces to be really good.
I think so too. Originally, when I was reading this leader when it got leaked, I was like, I mean, like it's okay, you know, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I think it'll see a little bit of play,
Like,
but
Zoro's
it's not going to be meta, right? But the more I think about it, the more really powerful I think this deck can be.
I think a lot of decks are going to have problems with this.
Yeah.
Like the ability to go wide with stuff like with Mihawk, and then also I think a lot of decks sort of rely on like building a mass of something,
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
And he is very interactive with your opponent's board, like resting things, swinging at them, and forcing cards out. Like this leader might be really annoying.
I don't know if this card will be played, but it does have access to a searchable 9-cost Zoro.
9-cost Zoro, yeah. So even as a finisher, like you just have that card too. Yeah, I don't know if it'll play it, but
it like a lot of decks that want to play the 9-cost Zoro aren't able to search for it, right? Like Bonnie isn't able to search for it. Lim can't search for it either. It's just a card that you have to naturally draw into, but you can search for it in this deck.
I think you could also go the route of like playing a lot of bricks, because you probably do want a certain amount of events, and then you can just like run 0-cost event.
Yeah, run 0-cost. Yeah, exactly.
There's probably other green events that I'm not as familiar with that like every color has a 1-cost like 4K conditional counter card. So like I'm sure green has one that he could play that to just be like give him that extra defense against other decks. And like I don't know, man. I think this one
This might be my sleeper pick.
I low-key, like, the more I think about it, I'm like, dude, you're playing just good cards.
Yeah.
Cavendish is just a good card.
Insanely
Smoker,
powerful.
just a good card. Dude, I don't know. This deck might be good.
Yeah, I rated Kuzan a 4.7. I might rate this one just very slightly below that. Maybe like 4.2.
4.2, okay.
Yeah.
I was a lot more conservative with Kuzan, but I think this one is like a 4.
A 4?
Yeah.
I think this deck is quite good.
I think this could be definitely fringe playable, and in a certain meta, it could even just be meta. Like,
For sure.
If there's not enough removal in the format, or I don't even know if it's removal. Like, I'm trying to think like what decks would like struggle against it, but I think that deck is really good. Okay, yeah.
So moving on to the
4.0, that's what I'm
next
gonna give it.
leader, we have yellow purple Rosinante.
Did we mention how much you love Rosinante?
I hate Rosinante. I'm a generational law hater, and Rosinante is the biggest law fan in multiple universes combined.
You're his auntie.
Yeah, so needless to say, I'm the opposite of this guy.
Yeah.
And he reads, once per turn, if your Trafalgar Law is KO'd, you may add the top card of your life pile to your hand instead. Activate main once per turn, Dawn -1. During this turn, the next Trafalgar Law you play from your hand with a cost of 4 or more will have its cost reduced by 2.
Oh, okay, wait. So it has a protection ability for laws, and then lets you cheat things out. Basically, -1 to. It's like you get 2 back, essentially.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
right, and with being a purple leader, having access to ramp cards can make this really, really efficient.
Yeah, so this is kind of a goofy leader.
Yeah, absolutely, very goofy.
It only cares about having Trafalgar Laws.
Yeah, which I think this list for this deck will primarily consist of Trafalgar Laws.
Yeah, it has
there
to.
are a lot of prints.
Yeah,
of
and
Trafalgar
they
Law.
tend to be good cards.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the cards that got leaked is the Rosinante Searcher, the 1 cost. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal a law, and put it in your hand. Just searches a law.
That's crazy.
Like, what is this?
That is actually crazy.
There's so many laws. You can play every law.
My man's an anarchist.
It is
Wants to get rid of
crazy.
all the laws.
That's crazy. And then there's a new 7 cost law that got printed.
Yeah.
Access to both 7 cost laws, right? Now
Yeah.
it has a purple one and has access to the yellow one as well.
The SCC. And then this one is an SR. Okay.
Yeah, and this one reads, on play, if the number of Dawn cards you have in play is equal to or less than your opponent's Dawn cards, add 1 and set it as active. So it ramps an active Dawn. Then your Rosinante and your Heart-type pirate characters get plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So full turn.
Yeah. Wow, this card's really good.
Yeah, your leader just becomes a 6k leader.
Yeah, basically saying your leader ability just ramps you. And then also, the 1k effect. Yeah, you're a 6k leader for the turn.
Yep.
Seems like a common theme these days.
Yeah.
And then, also with the reduction, this is actually really a 5 cost.
Yes, this is a 5 cost card because you're going to be able to... Because you have to have less Dawn than your opponent, so you have to de-ramp at this point. Yeah.
Wow, this card seems very good.
This is a very powerful card.
Seems like a glue card, right? Like, if this deck is good, like
you're playing this.
You're playing for it.
You're playing this for sure. Another card that came out is this technique cancels out every sound you make. It's a 2-cost purple event that reads, main, choose up to one of your Trafalgar Law characters and give it plus 2,000 power for this turn. Then when that character attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate blocker.
It's Perfume Themer.
Yeah, it's exactly Perfume Themer for a law.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's quite literally Perfume Themer because its trigger reads draw a card.
Also draw a card. Yeah. So quite literally that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting that they gave this deck that. Like that makes me think this deck wants to be aggro then.
Right, but you're not getting around playing your big law cards.
Yeah.
Right, like no matter what. So it could be a finishing card.
Finisher. I mean, to be fair, compared to like the cards that are Perfume Fumable and like the Dofi decks,
For sure.
like you got way bigger bodies.
Yeah,
right? Like
definitely.
if you have the 7/9 law out and you do this, like that's way more to counter out of.
Yeah, and
Gungam Giant won't save you there.
As a purple player, I've already told you how much I hate 7-cost characters. This just plays every 7-cost character for 5 Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good.
It's crazy. Another card that we have is I Love You. It's a 1-cost counter event. Up to one of your leaders or characters gets plus 2,000 power during this battle. Afterwards, if you have 2 or less life, add up to 1 law card from your trash to your hand.
Okay.
So it's a little underwhelming when it comes to counter power. 1 for 2. But it does let you be super efficient with your laws.
Yeah, like I just keep thinking about the 7-9 law because it heals you, right? So
Absolutely.
Like, okay, so you played one, you swung with it, they clear it or something, and then you're able to bring. I don't know. That seems good. Okay.
Yeah. And then we have another 4-cost purple blocker law.
Oh, this is a promo though. Interesting.
This is a promo. So we don't know when this is coming out.
Yeah.
But it did get leaked.
Yeah.
It is a 4/6 blocker on play if the number of Dawn cards you have in play is equal to or less than your opponent's Dawn cards. Add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as rested. So it's a 4/6 blocker that ramps you.
That card's insane.
So you can play this card for 2.
Oh my god. That's insane.
Yeah. You can play this for 2.
Yeah, that card's absurd.
Yeah.
Also, isn't it just like generically good for like a lot of decks?
It is generically good for a lot of decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just having access to a Heart Pirates 4/6 as a purple Luffy player, this is just like, I love me a 4/6.
Yeah.
And it's searchable? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wow, that card's really good though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some cards that are currently existing that I think we'll see play in this deck is, of course, the purple Trafalgar Law Searcher. Searches 4 cards for Straw Hats or Heart Pirates. Yeah. So that card, if you want this deck to be insanely consistent and you want to be able to find your 7-cost, 4-cost laws,
you'll run both.
You need to run multiple searchers. The 4-cost Blocker Law, I think, is pretty obnoxious. You can play it for 2.
Yeah.
If the meta ends up being one where people have 7 or more cards in their hands at all times, this card becomes very, very obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, what we were talking about earlier is the 7-9 law, the one that heals you. That one is absurdly powerful in this deck, especially if you can recycle it with the I Love You event.
Yeah, I think, okay, so this is definitely a goofy leader, you're saying. I truly don't know if this deck will be any good.
I don't think so either, but I really want it to be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll get your wish, because it feels like the deck wants to be aggro leaning, but there just aren't that many aggro law cards. It's maybe one of the reasons why I'm curious if they print these promos just because they know some of these decks are underwhelming on release.
Sure.
And this deck looks underwhelming on release.
It does.
But it'll be very funny because I know one particular guy who might play this deck.
Yeah.
Jansuko.
Shout out Jansuko. Shout out Jansuko. Every single card in your deck is a law card. It's Trafalgar Law.
That's exactly what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that this leader is very, very powerful. But I can see a world where it is played and it does become meta, because playing your 5-cost laws and your 4-cost laws for 2 Dawn cheaper is very, very good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if maybe there's a world where you play this kind of like the yellow kid leader and you play more like Supernova package more so than you play just laws. You have enough laws to make the perfume femur good.
Right.
But I'm thinking you can play a lot of the the life burn cards Hawkins, the 8-cost kid, and then that naturally just gets them down to 0 without being super aggressive.
And then you femur them.
And then you femur them. Yeah. I mean, that seems kind of sick to me.
Yeah. I mean, this deck is already kind of annoying just because it's a Rosinante leader. I think they had to make it that way. You can't really starve it, because if you attempt to remove its cards, it just takes a life.
Yeah, true.
So it just has a healthy card economy.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know if this honestly, it might be the least annoying Rosinante card ever printed.
It might be. it actually might be. Yeah.
Okay, so if we're going to rate it, what do you think?
I'm gonna give this guy a 3.
A 3?
Yeah,
that's still pretty high.
It might be a little high, but I can see its potential.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this a 1.5.
1.5? That low?
Yeah, I don't think this deck is very good.
Just wait until all the fucking law stands come out.
Oh my god, what am I doing? I mean, this leader is going to be meta tier 0.
Yeah.
5.0. Dude, they're gonna swap me.
Yeah, all the law enjoyers are gonna come get you, dude.
Yeah.
They're gonna dox you.
No, but 1.5. Okay, next leader.
Next leader. So this is a leader that I'm pretty excited about. Actually, is the OP12 Sanji. It's a blue-purple leader for life.
Is it because it's purple?
It is
Because he's Straw Hat Crew.
It is because he's purple and he's Straw Hat Crew, but also blue. You know, when I'm not playing purple, a lot of times I am playing blue decks.
Yeah, that's true.
I do really like this blue-purple color combination.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting that it has access to like removal cards as well as cards that will ramp you.
Yeah.
Things that'll deal with top ends. I think these kinds of decks are really interesting. And it reads, activate main, once per turn, Dawn -1, activate up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type event card from your hand with an original cost 3 or less.
Yeah.
When attacking, if the number of Dawn on your board is equal to or less than your opponent's, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest it.
That second ability is insane.
Yeah.
Just straight up the bat. I think that one's very, very good. Just
because you're going to be playing a lot of events, probably. As many as you can, really.
Yeah, and you're going to be minusing Dawn, so you're going to get that effect very frequently. Like, I'm trying to think, like, in the meta, like, anytime there's a purple deck, I mean, this is before green-purple and blue-purple Luffy.
Sure.
But Luffy stands tall among all the purple decks because he has a consistent way to ramp.
Yes.
Like many other decks, many of the purple decks have to play Bond Clays. They have to play these other ramp cards to get there, whereas like he just gets to do it unconditionally. Yeah. And I think Sanji's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But
you don't get the card into your hand, which helps you accelerate your game plan like Purple Luffy does.
Yeah.
But you're being really efficient with your events, right?
Yeah.
Like instead of playing a 3-cost event for 3, you're
It's
effectively
zero.
playing it for free.
Yeah. It's basically 0. So, all right, let's take a look at some of the potential support cards for it.
So Patty is a purple character card that got leaked. It's a 3-cost, 2,000 power, 2k counter.
Yeah.
On play, you may trash an event card from your hand. If your leader is Sanji, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So it ramps you an active Dawn. I don't know that this card will necessarily be played out, but it is a good synergistic 2k counter that you could play in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think this makes me feel like they're going to print like an East Blue Purple Searcher or something. Is that on there? I don't know. But
I don't think so, yeah.
Because like
I think most of the East Blue cards are blue.
The only reason why I say that is because like the Sanji leader definitely wants you to play a lot of Straw Hat events, but it's very interesting that they printed this as a purple card.
Yeah.
East Blue, which is also related to Sanji.
Yep.
So I don't know.
It is curious. Yeah.
This would be a glue card for an East Blue archetype. For
right. Exactly. Especially one that has access to purple.
Yeah.
And then 2 events that I think are going to be played in this deck are Let's Crash This Wedding, the 1-cost event from OP11. That reads, if your leader is multicolored, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat type card other than Let's Crash This Wedding, and put it into your hand. Place the rest on the bottom in any order.
Searcher for Straw Hat.
Yeah, and you get to play this for free, effectively.
Yeah, you just use it with leader
searching
ability.
for free is quite good. You know,
that's very good.
Having a trigger that is activate main, also very powerful in blue/purple decks.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I think is going to be really annoying is Gum Gum Jet Culverin. The OP11 3-cost event, activate main, return up to one of your opponent's characters when the original cost of 4 or less to the bottom of their deck. So bottoms of 4, basically for free.
That's
you can do it for free.
Yeah. Wait, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, I think this card is absolutely mandatory to play in this deck.
That is so absurd.
Yeah.
And I think specifically this card gets around a lot of like the cost protection stuff that like green purple uses. Like, that is so good against that deck.
I mean, if you still have Blackbeards running around as well, this just bottoms their Burgess for free.
This deck honestly seems like it would just eat up Blackbeard in general.
100%.
They just lose their win con entirely.
Yeah.
What?
I think this card is really, really strong.
Yeah.
Some existing cards or cards that are coming out that I think are going to be played in this deck. I think the 5-cost Blocker Kid.
Classic.
Yeah, that card is absurdly good.
Yeah.
The new Sanji Pudding that we're going to get in EVO2.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily -2 Dawn with your leader ability, but you have access to purple Straw Hat events like Gum Gum Lightning that do minus you 2 Dawn.
Yeah.
Right? Being able to play this for free and KO an opponent's 6-cost character and re-ramping you.
Cost? Or
I'm sorry, 6K
okay,
power.
Yeah. Still very good.
Very, very strong.
Usually like their 5 cost whatever.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
the thing that you'd kill it with.
Yeah, and then re-ramping with Sanji Pudding and then ramping when you attack with your leader. I think this package is pretty synergistic.
Yeah, I think there's something there. Like all those effects that give you the Dawn back. Yeah.
Definitely. Sure. And then being, of course, a purple Straw Hat leader, you have access to the classic purple Straw Hat package, right?
Yeah.
Luffy Taro, Zoro Juro, Sangoro, Gum Gum Giant.
Yeah, I mean, Gum Gum Giant for sure.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if it does end up in that direction of like the Luffy Taros and stuff.
Probably not, because I
don't think you could get ahead of your opponent that much.
Yeah, I think you're going to fall too far behind. You really need cards to be able to sustain your D-ramping.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does have access to it if it did want to play it. It does at the very least have access to Zoro Juro.
Yeah.
Which is a very strong generic searcher.
Glue card for these type of decks, yeah.
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 It also has access to Straw Hat top end.
Yeah.
Right? So blue Sanji.
Yep, that blue Sanji, very good.
Sanji, 7-cost Rush Sanji. And then there is a new OP11 6-cost Sanji.
I don't know what this one does.
Yeah, so this reads, when this character is KO'd by an opponent's effect, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, play up to 1 character card with the type Straw Hat Crew. That's a cost 5 or less. And then on play, return up to 1 character with an original original power of 5,000 or less to its owner's hand. So it bounces a 5K, and on KO,
by an effect.
you search. You don't. Not only do you search, you just play it out. A Sanji.
Okay, wow.
Or a Straw Hat card.
I mean, I don't know if that card, especially with the way... I mean, I don't know. People are talking about Lucci again these days, but yeah, that card would definitely see play as like an anti Lucci type
for sure
thing.
And it gets spat out by 9-cost Sanji, right?
Yeah,
so
9-cost Sanji just plays everything.
Yeah, so I think that this is pretty decent.
Yeah,
I don't know if you'll ever get to 9 non.
Yeah,
maybe.
And then the other thing is like you want a lot of like ways to manipulate the top card of your deck,
exactly,
and
right?
Sanji, it doesn't seem like the blue purple Sanji leader. Okay, wait, this is a brain blast I just had about this deck because it has the sort of same like typing as the Reiju cards.
Right.
Could you play Germa package in this too? I don't know. Maybe you need too many Germa cards to make it work, but like I feel like if you're trying to stay at that kind of low Dawn to continually get the ramp, then I feel like maybe there's a chance that you'd play like some of the Reiju cards or Ichiji or something. I don't know.
I mean, a card that comes to mind immediately is like Black Maria, right?
Yeah.
Black
Maria.
Just being able to de-ramp really aggressively, even if you don't have access to your re-rampers.
Yeah.
Black Maria seems quite strong.
Wait, Black Maria with like the Gum Gum Lightning.
Right, exactly.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that could be really good.
Mm-hmm. So it does have access to cheap events, re-rampers, top end. It has mid-range and searchers. Like I think this deck has
cook.
Yeah, it has the potential to be really good. On release, I don't necessarily see this quite as powerful as say like the mono blue Kuzan.
Yeah.
Or even the green Zoro leader.
Yeah.
But I think it has potential.
I think it has potential for
more
sure.
Than Rosinante.
Yeah, more than Rosinante. I think like the fact that it has access to consistent ramp just built into the leader is like very, very strong.
Yeah.
Being 2 colors can be a detriment, but it feels like there are a lot of cards like the Let's Crash This Wedding that like care about having a multicolored like leaders. Like if some of those things are good enough, like I don't know, Straw Hat Crew typing is just so strong in this game. So
especially if you're purple.
Yeah, especially if you're purple.
Yeah.
We know that already. So I feel like at a minimum I have to give this at least a 3, and if not, like
I think I'm going to give this
like 3.5.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to give this a 3.5. I think it has access to a lot of really powerful cards.
Yeah.
And its leader ability is just efficient.
Just good. Yeah. So, okay. And now I think this is like hot off the press.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that I think a lot of people are really looking forward to.
100%. The newly released and not released, leaked Koala leader, the black-yellow Koala. It's a Revolutionary Army and Dressrosa typing. When this leader attacks your opponent's leader, if you have 2 or more cost 8 or greater characters in play, draw a card. Once per turn, when your opponent plays a character with an original cost of 8 or greater, or when your opponent plays a character through a character's effects, you may activate this ability. Your opponent adds the top card of their life to their hand. So already when this leader came out, I was like, oh, this is anti-Teach. This is anti-5 cost Kuzan, is anti-Rebecca.
Yeah.
This card is just, this leader is insanely powerful.
Yeah, that second ability is tough for a lot of decks to deal with.
And black and yellow, we've known for a while now, just have access to a great card pool.
Yeah, because I think we knew this always about the color black is that it's just the most synergistic color in the game. And yellow has tons of effects that care about the cost of cards.
Right, exactly.
So having that combination is very strong. And then on top of, like, the first ability doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a way to lock the game. If you
100%.
have, like, you're usually winning if you have multiple 8 costs like that in play, but, like, that just locks the game up. You draw a card from there?
So a really good way, I think, for Koala to kind of get there to the 2 8 cost bodies, because it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like, to play out an 8 cost body is a lot. But it has 2 new cards that came out. One being the Karasu, 5 cost, 6k power. If you have a Revolutionary Army type leader, this character's cost is +3.
Boom.
So it's already an 8 cost, right? For 5 Dawn, it's an 8 cost. It's resilient to removal. It's out of Electric Luna range.
Actually so relevant.
Yeah. When attacking, if you have a Rev Army type leader and your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, your opponent discards a card.
Very
so really strong. Like, just great for taxing your opponent, making sure you get that card advantage. Through discarding their hand, and not only that, potentially drawing you a card through your own leader ability.
That card seems like an auto include.
Yeah, so this card I think is a 4 of for sure. Another 4 of card I think is the 4 cost Morley. It's a 4 cost 5k power 2k counter.
Oh, it's a 2k.
Yeah, it's a 2k. If your leader is a Rev Army type, this character gains 4 costs. So it's another 8 cost card.
Just 8. So you could potentially have 2 8 costs in play by your 6 Dawn turn.
Yep. And you'll be drawing a card every turn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm. So I think this card is very powerful. This is an auto include for me.
Yeah.
4 of.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Some other cards that I think are interesting in this deck are some Dressrosa cards. Some to come out in EBO2, like the Trafalgar Law Blocker. It's a 5/6 on play. You may return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. And you can choose the following: draw a card, or your opponent trashes a card if they have 5 or more cards in hand.
Just more,
more card advantage, right? Along with the Dressrosa Monkey D. Luffy that came out this set. Once per turn, this character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects, so it's already pretty resilient. When attacking, you may place 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, your opponent trashes a card. So just really taxing
the opponent's hand. Super annoying type of effect.
And one card has blocker, the other card is a 6/7 with access to cards in the Dressrosa package because it's a black leader. You have Karaita Coliseum. So all of your cards can now swing into their sitting guys, right? Another Dressrosa card that's yellow that a lot of people have been talking about is the 6/7 Lucy.
Yeah. I mean, specifically, it's Dressrosa and Rev Army.
Yep. So, adding, taking a life and then resting a 4 cost and then adding back a life. I mean, this card is just so good, right?
That card is absurd, especially with the Coliseum. That synergy is great.
Yeah. So having Rev Army and Dressrosa as kind of like a hybrid build for this deck, I think is going to be pretty interesting. Not to mention that Dressrosa already has a lot of powerful cards, right? So has access to the Rebecca Searcher. Rebecca herself, the 4
cost,
4 cost blocker. It has popping and removal ability through the 4/6 Zoro that we got this set. And then it has the 7 cost Law, the one that heals you, the 7/9. And then
what's the typing on that card? It's
Dressrosa Supernova.
Oh, it's also Dressrosa. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So that one is also Dressrosa. So that one is also searchable. You also have a Dressrosa Sabo 5/6 blocker, the one that every Lucci loves.
Yeah.
So just some really generically powerful cards, as well as the new Monkey D. Luffy Supernova Searcher, if you ever want to go down that route.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So there's just like a lot of kind of interesting archetypes that are sort of just around this leader.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what the best result is. I mean, Dressrosa now has had like 2 full sets of support, right?
For sure.
OP04 and now OP10.
Yep.
And so you just have access to a lot of really great cards in that archetype. And then, yeah, just having some glue cards like Lucy that combine Rev Army and Dressrosa.
Yeah.
There's something there for sure. And again, I just think the leader is so generically powerful that like it can bring you to a lot of different places. Like you don't need to actively kill your opponent. Like they'll do it for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Know? So
yeah.
Like you can play like most of the Dressrosa cards are very defensive minded.
Yep.
And so you can just sit there and wait essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. This deck reads to me as probably the best leader that's been leaked.
Yeah.
For sure. I think out of the, how many are there? 6?
Yeah, 1 for each color. So yeah, 6. Yeah, I mean, just generically speaking, it's funny because like the last time I thought this was with the Blue Yellow Nami, which didn't end up.
I also thought that deck was pretty strong, as well as Purple Katakuri.
Yeah.
Also didn't see much play. Yeah.
So I could be completely wrong here. Maybe the drawback isn't as big as we think, but it seems very good.
It seems good. It seems very strong.
Yeah, like I guess like aggro decks like Zoro don't care about taking their own life. Like they're like, is it more fuel?
But they don't take their own life. They trash it, right? Do they trash it?
Do they trash it?
No, they take it.
Oh my god! If it was trash, that would be.
They take their life. They take their life.
So like, okay, so for aggro decks, right? Like, they're probably like happy actually, and so you. I mean, I wouldn't say happy because
eventually they're gonna die.
They will die, and then on top of that, especially I'm gonna keep talking about it as if it's Dressrosa for sure, but Dressrosa archetype is so good at draining cards.
Yes.
More than the Coliseum is just such an annoying card for
that card is absurd.
Yeah, so I mean it's one of the reasons why Usopp just absolutely demolishes like Zoro and Dofi because like you just run them out of cards so quickly. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like, but against decks like Shanks, bro, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean you do have healing potential because you do have access to the 7/9 law.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I guess you do have cards that will drain them from their hand size.
Yeah.
If you're swinging 6 at them, they're giving you a card every turn.
Yeah.
And if you're playing things like the 6 cost Luffy or the new 5 law.
Yeah.
Or
they're just having to discard a card
Karasu,
anyways.
like having them just drain cards, like it could tax them over time.
Yeah, that's very annoying leader.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, if this leader does end up being good, we are going to see Twitter threads on it.
Oh my god, yeah, this leader is going to be so annoying. Forget what I said about Rosinante. This leader is so annoying.
Yeah, I've kind of been on this boat for a little while where I think like the Rev Army cards have always been close to being just like absurd.
Sure.
And I'm curious if like this is what sets some of the other decks like Red Yellow Sabo over the edge of being like actually good.
Yeah, or even the Red Black Sabo, right?
Red Black Sabo.
I think the Red Black Sabo generically has a very powerful effect.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really close to being strong.
Yeah, so this, I'm very curious, like, what the rest of the support for the set will give these leaders.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, so for Koala then, what do you think?
Okay, I'm going to go on a whim here.
Yeah.
Right? I rated Kuzan at 4.7.
Yeah. This has to be higher than that.
I think Koala is a 5.
A 5.
I think Koala is
immediately into the meta.
I think this will be a shoe-in into the meta immediately. Okay. I think people will be playing this right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to be generically powerful. How good it's going to be as the meta develops, I don't know, but I know for sure that this will be played.
Yeah, I probably would say it's somewhere in the range of like 4.5 to, I don't know what my highest has been. I think I rated Zoro the highest so far.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know what I said.
I can't remember.
I
You
should-
guys will tell
I should-
us.
Yeah. I'll look through the footage.
We're getting old.
But I think probably like 4 point. I just want to say like I want to hedge. I'm
Yeah.
scared. 4.7.
4.7?
Yeah.
4.7 is quite high though.
Yeah, it's I like because again, like we talked about, like it just the leader just seems very powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the timing of this? So we get 12 at the same time as everybody, right? Or is that
That I'm not sure. I can't really remember.
I'd have to look it up again
Yeah.
because we get the starters at the same time as 11, I think.
Okay. So it's going to be a universal release?
No, we get our maybe it isn't universal release. So maybe it's starters we get first at the same time as I know we get starters before anyone. And then that's like kind of their way of like helping us catch up.
Sure.
And then yeah, so I'm no, the reason why I'm asking this is because like it would be really cool if this was like the first set that we like actually got to cook at the same time as the side.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna give this like a 4.7.
Yeah, I think this deck is really going to be quite strong.
Just like black anything deck is going to be very good.
Yeah.
I feel like for the most part. So, and this leader ability just seems insane.
Yeah, the leader ability is so crazy.
Like any direction that you take it, even with those two new Rev Army cards, you get to draw cards so quickly.
By 6 Dawn.
Yeah, by 6 Dawn, it just seems so good.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was all 5 or all 6 of
All
the
6?
leaders for OP12. Let us know what you guys think about, first of all, the content. I mean, we jerry rigged this together.
Yeah.
We just decided to make this content, and then hopefully the audio is good. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. What you guys think might be the best leaders of the bunch, and if we missed anything, you
For
know?
sure, yeah, definitely some cards that we probably didn't see in the card list that I think could be potentially really strong in some of these leaders. And I'd like to know also what you guys would like us to talk about. Like future topics, if you guys want us to talk about maybe developing metas, what's going on in the East, what's going on in the West, regional results, what have you. A lot of things to talk about for sure.
So we have a bunch of stuff cooking up, but with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.